Hello guys, this is David Peterson, publicdomainphotography.com. Today I'm going to discuss with you a very unique and interesting age-old debate. What is the meaning of life? Now, as a photographer and photographers have a unique perspective on life in the sense that we tend to capture snapshots in time, moments in time. Now, that is ultimately what life is built up of, a series of moments, one moment leading to the next, consequence of action or consequence of inaction. Now, by understanding that it's the moments in time that lead us to our destination, they lead us on our journey, we can somehow work better towards understanding purpose. Now, there is an age-old debate between fate and chance, destiny. Now, I do not believe that actions are predetermined. Otherwise, there is no purpose of enjoying this wonderful life. If everything is already predetermined, then we're just replaying a video, a DVD, or looking at a photograph over and over again. It's almost, you could imagine being trapped into a continuous loop. So therefore, I personally don't subscribe to a theory of fate, destiny. I believe that that way of thinking can lead to an element of feeling unfulfilled, because if everything is always what was, what will be, always has been, and always will be, then what is the motivation to try? What is the motivation to drive forward? What I believe is more along the lines of a consequence have action theory. So if I choose a gradient, let's go with a very, very simple example of this. I've run out of milk. I can't have my cup of tea tomorrow morning with milk unless I go to the shop, the 24-hour garage, let's say, and buy some milk. So I have a good choice now. I could stop this video, go and buy some milk, and have a hot cup of tea tomorrow morning, or I can carry on and make this video and possibly not go and get the milk, and then if I want to have a hot cup of tea with milk tomorrow morning, I need to go to the garage. If it's without milk, then I'll have a black tea. But that, I don't believe, is part of a fate cycle, a destiny cycle. I believe that is choice and consequence of action. So just to further explore the theory of systems, the theory of connectivity, the theory of connecting moments in time. As I said before, what a photograph shows you is a snapshot in time. Now, the photograph exists because you can see it. When you close the photograph down or shut your photo album, how do you know for sure that photograph is still there? We have memories, of course, and memories are wonderful, valuable, and enhancing parts of the human experience. They can also be terribly painful, which I absolutely acknowledge. Now, with your own journeys, one would ask that you listen to this video and you enjoy this as part of a opportunity to reflect. I am not in any way proposing I have all the answers. I am not in any way proposing to know better than you. or even know more than you. What I am proposing is that you listen and you enjoy and you take time to reflect on what we've discussed today, and through that reflective process, feedback and reflect on your own life journey and how you see your life journey progressing. We have one life, one opportunity to leave fulfilled, to leave satisfied, to know that we've done all we can do to ensure that our life has meaning. So that brings us to looking at life, and I'll touch on now the meaning of life. But to do that first, you need to understand your journey, your life, your experience. The moment that you are born, the moment you are conceived, the moment that the process of fertilization of an embryo is achieved is the beginnings of life. The chance of you being born is like winning a lottery. All it would have took is your dad to have rolled over in the bed and then got back to it 10 minutes earlier, 2 minutes earlier, 30 seconds earlier, and a whole different life is created. So first of all, just accept that you being here is an absolute miracle, believe it or not, and feel empowered knowing that you've been given an opportunity to walk on this land, to walk on this earth, this dot in space and time. Now, we look out at the stars, we glance ahead, and we realize we are infinitesimally small in an infinitesimally large universe. But the chance we've got, the thoughts we have, is it all pointless? What is the meaning of it? Why are we here? Now, I would argue that you need to look for these answers from within. Your journey is personal. It's about taking responsibility for yourself, for your actions, and for your life. Only you can lead that life, and only you can ensure positive outcomes for yourself. Now, I want to be absolutely clear here, guys, that I'm not accounting for freak anomalies in normal life cycles that one could not possibly predict. So, for example, if you are on a plane and there is an accident on the plane and your life is irreversibly changed from that point onwards, but it was nothing that you had done to influence that other than get on the plane, and you couldn't control the outcome once you're there, then yes, this journey is taken out of your hands. And so I do understand, and I absolutely acknowledge that there are freak occurrences, a car crash where the driver was doing nothing wrong, a freak wave, you were walking and tripped on a banana peel, cracked your skull, and you've had an irreversible life change. So acknowledging that life can throw curveballs, life can throw hammers, can throw nails, it can throw lead, it can throw blood, it can throw sweat, it can throw tears at you. Acknowledging that, we're going to look at the individual journey towards self-actualization and ultimately finding your meaning of life. So, with your self-reflective process, with your life journey, you have to take accountability and responsibility for your actions, for yourself, for your thoughts. for living this life to its fullest takes work, guys. It isn't easy. Nobody has said your journey is going to be easy. And nobody has said it's going to be perfect. Life isn't perfect. And true perfection actually has to be imperfect. We need something to strive towards. We need something to drive towards. And having that imperfection is what makes our lives as perfect as they can be. Over the years, we've had many, many achievements as a species. We've also had many huge fails collectively. And that we can think about and we can reflect on, but we cannot change the good and the bad. It has happened, it has been, it is written, and it is what it is. Now that does not mean it is what it has to be. The future is not yet written. Now, with regards to the future, let's be absolutely clear here, guys. You are in charge, okay? Who you are today doesn't have to be who you are tomorrow. You can wake up and you can change. You can change in a moment. It's just a thought. Take ownership of it. Take positive steps. Be positive, be strong, be powerful. You are amazing, and you just got to unlock that power. Human potential has no limits, and it is up to you to find that limit, to find that fight, to find that desire, and to keep moving forward. You can reinvent yourself anytime on your journey because it's yours, you own it, and you are in charge. When you're looking for meaning in anything, in absolutely anything, ask yourself the question, is this going to benefit me? And is this going to benefit people I care about? And is this going to benefit wider society? Now, you may think that this is not something that you can achieve. However, by being part of society, by being part of a community, you are already giving a lot. You need to be understanding that by doing good things makes you feel good. By feeling good, it allows you to grow, to develop, and to influence your life in the right direction. Now, with the life journeys, there's no right or wrong answer. There is no right or wrong answer. But there is good and there is bad. Now, don't think in terms of absolutes. Think in terms of what makes you feel good. So, a great example of this is, you see a old lady whom has dropped her shopping. You have infinite choices what you could do at this point. Turn left, turn right, do a jump, do a jig, lie down on the floor, which would be totally random, or help. Now, the help, that can be good. It can make you feel really positive. You help this lady. You get to give her a helping hand. And with that, you then get to feel good. Okay? And this is where you can apply a little bit of chaos theory. Let's pretend there's infinite universes here, okay? Just for a minute. I know this is a bit out there, guys, a little bit crazy. But just for a minute, imagine that you're in this multiverse where any possible and every possible outcome could happen. So, in one scenario, you help this lady, and you help her, and she smiles at you, and she moves on in her life, and you never see her again. But you feel good. In another scenario, she then asks you to help her take things to her car and load her car. It's inconvenienced your time, but you know, you've helped, you've achieved, and she feels happy. She thanks you. You go on your way, and you see her again in a few years' time, and she buys you a bar of chocolate and smiles, which is reward in itself. And the third scenario in a different multiverse is you offer her help, and inside one of the bags is a chainsaw. She takes out this chainsaw and she chops off your head. So, again, this is not a good outcome. All from that choice that you made from helping her. And this is where the human experience really comes into play. Now, don't worry, it's not when you get your head chopped off with a chainsaw by an old lady in the shops that you were going to help. That was just for an example of there's multiple possible outcomes. What this is showing, though, what this is really showing is that you and your life, and you're in control of what you do and how you choose to live that life. So where I would strongly recommend is, in your next time you're out, do some random act of kindness. They don't even need to know you've helped them. Random act, and reflect on how that made you feel and how the rest of your day went. Now, by acknowledging that we cannot control others, and the only thing we truly have control of and truly know is ourselves, we have to think about where that knowledge can take us. Well, by not controlling others, by understanding the limits of our control, then that in itself is extremely empowering, because therefore you do not need to take over responsibility. You don't need to take on problems that aren't yours. What that enables you to do, that frees you to focus on positive, good and productive tasks, productive things. Seeing your child smile, for example, is a price that is beyond words. It is such a gift, such a reward, that the feelings go so far beyond the human experience of the body that it cannot be truly expressed. The happiness that you see in your own children cannot, and the pain from your child when they're in pain, the pain you feel is much worse. It is a pain beyond bounds of human even understanding, a feeling that transcends the body. It radiates through every corner of our world, and therefore we accept that there are things in life that influence who we are and what we are, and therefore who we become and what we will become. Now remember, as I've said earlier, that yesterday no longer exists other than in memories. Tomorrow is not yet written. Tomorrow is undecided. Tomorrow you can do and you can be whoever you want to be. Inside, you are in charge. What we actually have is the moments, and it's made up of moments. The only thing that's actually real is what is happening right now in this moment. The past no longer exists except in memories, and the future hasn't happened. You, right now, are the only thing that is truly alive. Well, we're going to do a little bit of an experiment now. What I'd like you to do is close your eyes. I'd like you to close your eyes, guys. You got them closed? Okay. How do you know for sure? How do you really know that anything else exists in this world other than you right now? Now you've got your eyes closed. How do you know there's anything outside? How do you know that there's even a computer screen in front of you? Now, this may sound like a difficult concept to grasp, but what I am trying to say is that, say for example, when your partner goes to work, your child goes to school, your mother goes out, how do you know they even truly exist anymore? The reason you know that, or you believe that, is because of memories and because of behaviors. One way you could confirm this is you could call your mum or your wife and speak to them on the phone. I mean, it really, really, really is. It's possible to confirm that they still exist. But in the moment, with your eyes closed, in the silence, how do you know that anything else truly exists? Now, wrap your head around that for a minute, guys. Wrap your head around that for a minute. And it is mind-blowing, really. Human behavior is one that is associated heavily with cohabitation, with community, with society, with reliance on others, with relationships, with friends, with neighbors. It's entwined into our very soul. However, when you're alone, when it's dark, how do you know any of it's real? This is an open question, and I would be open to discussion on the concept of what is reality and how do we test reality in itself. With meanings come interpretations, and with interpretations come theories. And this is what we're discussing today, guys. We're discussing different possibilities, different hypotheses, and what the aim of the life is to try and understand the journey. The ultimate question is, why are we here? What is the point of it? Now, before we discuss what is the point, why are we here, which we'll definitely come to, guys, and I'll definitely give you my opinion on the meaning of life, why we're here, and what is the aim of, what is the point to it all. That is coming, without a doubt, so don't you worry. But let's just discuss for a minute, what if it's all just by chance? So, let's go back to the Big Bang. Let's go back to the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. Let's go back to when time began. Time as we can measure it, or we can understand it in our limited understanding of the universe. So, we go back to the Big Bang, or we go back to the pre-Big Bang. We go back to nothingness. Now, even within nothingness, there will be something, because that's the causative factor for the Big Bang. Let's come forward now to the Big Bang. The Big Bang happens. Matter starts to spread. the universe starts to form, we have the opportunity to grow. The sun forms, the planets form, 1 million years pass, 10 million years pass, 1 billion years pass. A meteorite strikes the earth with a single-celled organism. That single-celled organism was inactivated. It finds Earth, it activates. By chance, replicates, grows, develops through natural selection, progresses its genetics, and then life as we know it is formed. Let's just say that's one possibility. This is not dismissing any other possibilities. This is not dismissing any other way that life may or may not have come onto this earth. Because the truth is, nobody truly knows how life began. It could have been aliens that came. It could have, where did they come from? Could have been a god, but again, where did the god come from? What was the origins? What's the history? But for the purpose of this is about randomness. So let's just say it's all one big chance, just one big random event. Okay, so eventually, after billions of years of evolution, this single-celled, or let's even say this quarter cell that arrived on Earth, that meant material that made it become a complete single-celled organism, billions of years later became sentient, became self-aware. It gave life to modern man as we know it. We'll skip through Darwin's theory of evolution, because that is not really relevant to this point of complete randomness. So, billions of years ago, single-celled life multiplied. Then, we have life as we have it now. And it's all completely and utterly random. And so, all we have is what we see. And there was no meaning to it. It is just what it is. We die, we go back to the earth, the same as a rock erodes in the dust, in the wind, the way the waves lash on the shore, the way the earth circulates the sun, the way the Milky Way sits in the universe, the way the universe sits in a multiverse, possibly. And every single tiny bit of it is completely and utterly random. There's no design, there's no purpose, there's no point. It just is. Now, I'm not saying that's not what's happened. It could well be. That could well be what's happened. And if that is the case, then so be it. So be it. Because we need to accept what we can control and what we can't control. We need to take ownership of the things that we can own. And one of those things we can own is ourselves, our beliefs, our thoughts. So what if it is all random? I say, well, sod them. Because if it's all random, if it's all completely random, then we are going to make it mean something. I am going to make it mean something. And the benefit to this is that ultimately, with whatever theory you subscribe to, we've all come from something. And if we've come from somewhere, we're going somewhere. And so ultimately, whatever the journey is, wherever it goes, we're all part of it. We're all part of that journey, and we're all in it together. That's why we need to respect ourselves, respect others, respect animals, respect plants, respect the water, respect the environment, respect, and then on a broader scale, we need to respect the space around us, respect the moon, the sun, and by showing respect, because we are them and they are us, it's simple as that. When people say we're all just stardust, we're not just stardust, okay? Because stardust is a miracle that we need to be absolutely thankful for, that we have the opportunity to be part of this universe, to be part of something so amazing that we cannot ever forget that we are more than just the sum of this body. Now, I may hear you say, what is this? What are we talking about here? Well, by understanding the foundations of creation and the theories around creation, we can better understand ourselves and our journey and our meanings. Now, think about your meaning for a minute. Think about what you did today. Think about where you see yourself in 5 years from now. Scratch that. Think where you see yourself in a week from now. Are you happy with where you're going to be in a week from now? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel cheery? Does it make you feel satisfied, like you're working to something, like you're gaining, like you're striving, like you're achieving? If it does, then congratulations, because you are certainly on a journey towards fulfillment and towards understanding the meaning of life. However, if you're not happy where you are, if you took a few seconds to reflect, if you're listening to this and you're not satisfied with your journey, then do something about it. You can reinvent yourself, the way you think, the way you see yourself, the way you find peace. If you are comfortable with who you are, if you understand who you are and you're comfortable in your own mind, in your own place, then nobody or anything from outside can do you any harm, because you are the master of your own destiny, your own self. You have taken control, and that is a very, very powerful thing to achieve. Self-control. Self-control is a very, very powerful skill, and it's something that you should definitely lean towards. All think of consequence and action. Think about physics, basic physics, okay? Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be changed. So therefore, your positive energy can be changed into positive thoughts, positive feelings, positive emotions. And your negative energy can equally be changed into negative thoughts, negative emotions, and negative consequences. Now, I'm not talking here Peter Pan and La La Land, okay? I'm talking positive, genuine, constructive thoughts that are going to benefit you, they're going to benefit others, and most of all, they're going to help you find your reason for being on this planet. Now, a buddy of mine once told me a story. I don't know this story's origin. I've never looked it up. but I really, really like this story. He says that when he was on the battlefield, he was a soldier, this guy. British Army. When he was on the battlefield, his biggest fear was if he was killed, the things he hadn't done that he wanted to do. And he said he used to imagine being stood over by all the things he hadn't done and all the things he wanted to achieve and all the goodness he wanted to do. And that kept him motivated to stay and do what was needed to survive and to come home safely. Now, the army in itself, that's a whole different debate, guys, and that is not the purpose of this story. Whether you agree or disagree with militaries and fighting and war and pain and suffering and misery are not the scope of this discussion today, okay? The point of that conversation was that the guy was afraid of the things he hadn't done. And that is one thing where you need to be really reflecting on. If you're in a dead-end job, if you're stuck, if you're unhappy, it's up to you to empower yourself and do something to make a change. It's up to you to make a change that only you can ultimately influence. Find a new job, find a new hobby, or find a new way about thinking. Find a new way to think, find a new way to see things. Make the most of what you've got. Appreciate your opportunities that you've got on this earth. Appreciate your opportunity that you've got. And be something amazing. Be part of something amazing. Be yourself. Think differently. Act differently. Take ownership. And remember, if you can think positively, you will feel better and you will act better. Make the best of any situation you find you're in. If you're not happy, try and change it. If you can't change it, change the way you think. Those that think they can and those that think they cannot are usually both correct. And this is such a true saying. There's just no other way around it. The positive thoughts, the can-do attitude, that will lead to positive outcomes. If you think you cannot do something, then you probably can't, because you probably won't try hard enough. A great example of this is you've got two guys, yeah? They both want to be businessmen. Guy A is given $10,000 and Guy B is given $10,000. Guy A and Guy B both buy, let's say, a popular childhood toy, and it sells like hotcakes. Guy A and B make let's say a 900% markup on the initial investment. They've made a fortune, yeah. Person A, businessman A, reinvests that money into more products and some research and development and continues to be productive within his business. Person B takes the profit they've got, buys a private jet, buys a boat, and buys a big house. And they stand in front of these three items and they look like they've made it, but they've got no money left. While businessman A is still living in a modest family home with a nice turnover and striving towards a sustainable business model. Businessman B has lived the life for a week and is now gone broke, and the bank are knocking his door down to take everything back off him. And by thinking like that, by thinking about the consequence of actions, in this case, these were given the same opportunities at the same time, and they chose different paths because of the way they thought. It was the way they thought, the way they did, the way they acted. One was healthy, about sustainability. The other was about short-term profit. And we can think about that in terms of our planet, guys. When you've got people chopping down trees, ripping up oil out the floor, ripping up coal, iron, lead, pumping toxins into the air, pumping mercury into the water, into the sea, into the oceans. You've got to think about sustainability. We're all stardust. We're all of this earth. The earth has finite resources, and we are part of that. We are part of that. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be changed, okay? Humans, dolphins, whales, grasshoppers, they're all part of this earth. They're all part of this cycle. And the cycle is one thing that only you can choose which path you're going to take. Are you going to take a destructive path, a short-term path, an easy gain path? Or are you going to take a long-term struggle? Are you going to take a long-term sustainable path? Change the way you think. Be sustainable. Act sustainable. Be sustainable. And be positive. Expect things that are unexpected. Expect things that are anticipate unknowns. Now that might sound crazy, but I assure you it's not. I assure you it's not. What you need to do is anticipate potential downfalls and do things to negate the risk, reduce the risk, take charge of yourself. So, we established earlier on that, in my opinion, yesterday no longer exists. This moment right now is all that's real, and tomorrow has not yet been written. So, yeah, I know why you're all listening in the first place, because I promised you the meaning of life. Okay, here it comes. I'm just going to grab a quick drink, because this is going to be a big one. Right. The meaning of life, guys. Life is whatever you want it to be. Don't let anybody tell you any different. The way you see, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you touch, the way you listen. This is the sum of your life experiences. Your sensual experiences, your interpretations of environment. They are what lead you to your belief system. Think about the age-old argument, nature versus nurture. And genetics play a role, the environment around you play a role, the opportunities you've been given play a role. However, one thing that all of us have is an inner sanctum, a place where we can find peace in ourselves, a place in our minds that only us, that only we, that only I, only you truly know yourself, your belief system, your core beliefs. By understanding your core beliefs and reflecting on what that means to you, what your journey means to you, you will be able to explore your meaning of life. Now, to help you find that meaning, what I'd like you to do is, tonight or the next time you've got a cloudless night, have a look up at the stars and have a long look. Then realize that they are you, and you are them. You are also part of this world. The world is part of you. The water we touch, the air we breathe, the grass that grows, the leaves on the trees, the wind, the sky, the clouds, the waves, they're all part of the same thing. They're all from somewhere. They're all going somewhere. And while we're here for a blip in time, for a blink of an eye, that does not mean we cannot enjoy our time being sentient, being self-aware. We can enjoy that in many ways. We can enjoy it productively by being part of a community, by contributing, by self-developing, by growing, by being, by owning, by feeling for others, by showing compassion, by caring, by being a good, holistic, reflective individual, by sharing your experiences and enjoying being yourself. Also enjoying the company of others and listening and learning and enjoying others' experiences of their time as a sentient being. Because in an infinite universe, with infinite possibilities, with unlimited opportunities, you may or may not get to do this all again in different states, in different times, with your makeup being in its sentient stage. And then another time, you will be the dust that blows, you will be the wind, you will be the waves, you will be the stars. You will be of the earth, you'll be of the moon, you will be of the universe. And ultimately, guys, in my opinion, that is the meaning of life. Enjoy your sentience while it lasts. Make it count and see this as your opportunity to do good for the community, the global community, and ultimately the entire universe. Sentience is an absolute gift. Whatever its source, whatever your beliefs, enjoy your time as a sentient being and accept that you are what you are, and you can grow and you can change and you can develop. Do not limit yourself. Do not limit yourself, guys. It's only a matter of time. And that is a big, big question. It's only a matter of time. What is time? Yeah, we see time as linear. We experience life as linear. But there is no limit to what we can do if we see ourselves as part of something that is so vast, it's almost beyond our comprehension of this universe. Because it started from nothing. It's become everything. And it could be, our universe could even be within another universe. Think about that for a minute. Ask yourself that question. Are we alone? And it depends on how you break that down. Because ultimately, the question, a simple question is there other life out there in the universe? In my mind, it is without a doubt. It is without a doubt there is other life in the universe. There is not a single question in my mind that there is other life in the universe. How do I know that? Because we are here. And we all came from the same thing, if you believe in the Big Bang theory. If you believe in God, we're also all of the same. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in nature, there's no doubt about it in my mind that we are part of something bigger, part of something that is just so beautiful. It is incomprehensible. But you also need to accept that you may not see that while you're in this time that you have as a sentient being, someone that is self-aware. And knowing that is quite empowering. Now, of course, none of us know for sure. No one has all the answers. Anyone that tries to sell that to you is talking out of the proverbial. However, what I can offer you today is an opinion, is a thought, is sharing my journey and my understanding at this time of the journey of life. Now, your journey is important, and thinking about where you're going, the decisions you're going to make, and the outcomes that you're going to have are critically important to your fulfillment, your life's fulfillment, feeling good. And consequences have actions. A good example of this would be, let's just go with a very, very basic kind of scenario where let's say that, as we know, there's infinite possible outcomes in infinite possible universes, but let's just pick 5. Like our chainsaw lady before, from a simple help to, let's break this down to something else. So let's say we walk into a bank today, yeah, and a bank robber comes in, a bad guy, and he wants to rob the bank. Now, there would have been millions and millions of incidents that occurred before that on a very, very subcellular level that has led this particular bank robber, while he's in his sentient state, to this bank. And clearly he's gone wrong somewhere on his path. Now, as soon as he gets there, he has a lot of choices. So one is he walks in, he shoots the clerk, takes the money, walks out, hopefully gets caught and goes to jail for the rest of his life. Number 2, uses his gun, holds up the bank, gets the money, leaves, gets caught, gets 20 years in jail. Number 3, takes all the people's wallets, personal things, wedding rings, takes the bank's money, leaves, gets away with everything, and then lives a life looking over his shoulder. And then option 4 is he walks in and he actually says, I don't want to do this. I'm going to change because I can change at any given time. Walks out again. No one ever knows he was going to hold up the bank. and he goes and buys the fishmonger that he's always wanted to do and works as a fishmonger for the next 10 years, works really hard, makes a good business for himself and does well. And you can see right there that they're all possibilities within this scenario. And there's only one truly healthy possibility. It doesn't have to be a fishmonger, but he contributed productively to society with the right choice he made. And in that moment, his entire life changed. And that's what I'm trying to get you to see, guys. That you can change your entire life in a moment. One single moment you can change. Okay? Because you do not have to do the negatives. You also have to do the positives, I admit. But the positives feel good. Trust me. But you don't have to do the negatives, okay? You are in control and you can change, you can do, and you can fight, and you can be, and you are what you are because you decide to be that. Make your sentient time count, guys. Be someone that you can be proud of. Be someone that you can feel comfortable within yourself, and feel someone when you look back and reflect on your life. Be someone that you think, I did what I could to ensure my experience, my family's experience, my friends' experience, and anybody who came into contact with me's experience was as good as I could have made it. It is very, very clear to me that the moments that make up our life are every single one of them special and an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, and an opportunity to be more than what we are today. We can be better tomorrow. We can be better in the next 10 minutes. Driving forward, being proud, standing tall are all traits that you can take with you on your life journey. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. Please, please share with me your experience, your understanding of the meaning of life, because I would love to hear it. I genuinely would. What I'd like to take away from this is my 3 main points are that yesterday no longer exists. You do not have to be who you were yesterday. The moment right now, you can choose to make a change. You can take ownership right now. You can acknowledge right now. You can do right now. You can be all you can be. And tomorrow, you can start fresh. Think positively. Do positively. Be positive. Do what you can do to make your life and make the people's life around you better. You don't like your job, change it or think differently about it. Find fulfillment in what you do. Think about others less fortunate than you. Think about others right at the bottom. And there's always somebody worse off. You can make the change by being comfortable with yourself, by being who you are. You are powerful. You are amazing. All right. Thank you again. This is David Peterson. Hope to see you at Public Domain Photography. Share with me some of your moments in time, some of your snapshots, some of your favorite memories. Respect, peace, love, and unity. I send them out to you. I send them out with my warmest heart. And I hope that your journey, wherever it may lead, will lead you towards a feeling of satisfaction, a feeling of fulfillment and a feeling of joy. Both. Be all you can be. Signing off. With respect, David Peterson.